Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to American Dumpster Fire. And today, it's a little less of a dumpster fire.
A little less, yeah.
So, according to AP and several sources, Biden is the winner. Of course, is it still by projection?
Yeah, I think it technically is by projection because the electors haven't officially put in their results yet. I don't think they're required to do that until December.
So this is technically, we're recording on the Sunday after the election.
Right.
So 5 days later?
Well, technically, they just announced this yesterday.
So, right, but 5 days after the vote.
After the vote, yes.
And Trump is the sorest loser ever, right? He won't concede. He's asking for recounts in all kinds of places. He's suing several states. He's trying to coerce electors to change their votes and stuff like that. This is just the most disgusting display of
abuse of power.
It's just ridiculous.
He's,
I mean, there's no doubt that he's a fucking fascist piece of shit.
So here's the thing. One, there were preemptive lawsuits, right? First of all, Trump has been shouting voter fraud for months.
Right.
He literally, the GOP filed suits to ensure that these states could not count the mail-in ballots early.
Right.
That they had to wait until after, the election day, which meant they were always going to be counted after the fact, which meant those numbers were always going to come in later.
Right.
And the only reason for them to file that suit in the first place was so that Trump could claim the election day votes that came in from in-person voting, and then try to cut it off and say that mail-in voting is fraudulent and all of that's fake.
Well, yeah, he was saying mail-in voting was fraudulent from the beginning. He was telling his people not to mail-in vote and stuff like that. And then lo and behold, when they start counting it, he's losing, 2, 3, 4 to 1, in the mail-in vote.
Right. Yes. And I mean, the whole point is that,
and they're like, what's the chances of that? Really?
Yeah, very good, actually. But the thing is that he created this mess.
Right.
On purpose, so that he could claim that the vote was fraudulent.
Well, it's the one thing he's good at is creating messes.
Right. Now he's trying to claim that these votes that came in before Election Day are late votes from after Election Day because he sued to make sure that they couldn't be counted early.
Right. So, like every Republican, he's cheating.
He's just a fucking liar. And he knows goddamn well that his base will never look into anything that he says. It's all bullshit.
It's because they're a cult.
Yes. So, but it's a mess that he created, and then now he's screaming foul about it.
Right.
Which is, just Trump's way. And the bottom line is that, the in-person vote we always knew was going to go to Trump because he told them not to vote by mail.
Right.
And so then once the ballots actually got counted, the states flipped. Now here's the thing. He's like, I was winning that state the whole time. Yeah, but we always knew it was going to flip. You know what I'm saying? Like, we knew that once the mail-in ballots got counted, that changes things because you're counting the votes. Under that same logic, Biden was winning Texas for a while there.
But
and then it changed when they counted more votes.
This was the biggest voter turnout ever. Biden received more votes than any president in American history. And yes, some of that is because the population has grown. But a chunk of that is because
a ton of people registered.
We wanted to be rid of the orange moron.
Right.
So bad.
People, oh my gosh. And the thing is that, first of all, the gap that he won by was 4.5, 5 million voters.
Yeah, that's the other problem with the Electoral College. The Electoral College is screwed up. The whole system is messed up because when Biden got 50% of the vote, should have been done. Biden definitely received over 50% of the vote. There's no doubt.
He did. He got millions more votes, and then we're still here biting our nails. Gee, did he win?
Right.
Yeah, he fucking won.
The Electoral College has to go away.
It does. It's awful.
We need ranked choice voting nationally. Period. No more Electoral College. No more. I'm voting so somebody else can cast a vote for me. Fuck you. I can cast my own vote. We have a system that can count the votes on its own. We don't need the Electoral College. The Electoral College is a monument of racist leaders of the past.
Right.
No, thank you. We don't need it.
It's got to go. It's got to go. But beyond that, it is honestly one last lifeline for Trump because he's still sitting here calling for the electors to make their decision against what the voters of their states
it's
have
disgusting.
Chosen. And then his sons are sitting there trying to make the point, like, does anybody really believe that this man who couldn't fill up his rallies won the popular vote, or blah, blah, blah? Like, this is all fake, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now it was announced that Biden has won. People are literally in the streets celebrating in masses in every fucking city.
There's dance parties
across
all over
the world.
All over the world. There's dance parties because Trump has lost.
It's crazy. Like, it's everywhere. They're ringing church bells. They're sending mariachi bands. There's like it's everywhere. There's celebrations. They're running through fountains.
I'll be honest, I danced.
They're singing. They're dancing. Oh my God. There was one I found, like, on Twitter. There's a video of, like, all these people who are, like, off the side of the street, like at a gas station or something. They're blasting Christmas music and dancing, and I'm like, oh my God.
Okay, so no to Christmas music.
I was laughing so hard, though. Like, it's just joy everywhere. And you're going to fucking sit here and tell me, oh, does anybody really believe that Biden won when he couldn't even fill a rally? He wasn't trying to kill his voters.
I think the better song to dance to is that hi ho the wicked witch, the witch is witch, the wicked witch. Hi ho the wicked witch is dead.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, you look at, like, the celebrations going on around this country. There's no fucking doubt that we all busted our ass to get that man out of office.
Yeah, and me and the work isn't over, right? So, barring that Trump pulls off one of his scams to steal the presidency,
right?
Barring that, even with Biden taking office in January, we have a lot of work to do.
Oh, there's so much work to do.
First off, we have to undo all the evil shit that Trump put into place.
Biden has already actually said that he's going to do some executive orders to automatically undo some things, like putting us back in, like, the World Health Organization, the Paris.
Yeah, we're supposed to
accord.
immediately rejoin all those things.
Right.
Some scientists even think that we might be able to pick up, like, the pace and re-meet our goals for the Paris Climate Accord if we, and without costing a lot more money. Like, we might be able to just jump.
That's good. And I know he has a lot of plans for that because of the huge amounts of job growth that kind of progress comes with.
Oh my God, green energy is going to bring so many jobs to this country.
It's the future. Stop fucking trying to stop progress. I hate that.
It's so ridiculous. We gotta end this thing where corporations can keep feeding people disinformation and stuff like that, so they can get away with polluting and profiteering and stuff like that.
We have to stop this thing where corporations can purchase a senator.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's basically what it is.
Look, when you buy food at the grocery store and it's got a label on it, they're not allowed to lie to you about what it is. I mean, yes, they get away with certain half-truths and stuff like that, like 0 calorie and stuff like that, which needs to go away. But I'm saying that corporations and politicians shouldn't be allowed to lie to people. I think that we need a clear and concise label as to what things are, you know?
I agree.
So we need to pass laws against that stuff. Corporations are not people, and politicians are our employees.
And the bottom line is that as much as this whole past 4 years, 5 years really, if you count the campaign year, 2016 when Trump was first coming into all of this, I mean, most of us have, like, watched on with horror at the way that everything just fell apart. But the bottom line is that we created this environment that allowed Trump to thrive the way he did.
Yeah.
Our politicians slowly, piece by piece.
Oh, we need to
created this entire situation.
We need to
that allowed Trump to happen.
We need to burn Citizens United to the ground. I mean, that's part of a big part of what allowed this. All this dark money, and look, is there dark money flowing in to get Supreme Court justices put into place? That's
because
fucked
those
up.
Same people are the ones who are filing the lawsuits to take away rights.
Supreme Court justices aren't running for office. There should be zero money flowing in. Kavanaugh got money to pay off his debts. There was dark money going to people for this Amy Coney Barrett. That's messed up. We should be investigating all those people.
Like, literally, that's the thing. Did you see the White House, Sheldon Whitehouse, doing his thing during the Barrett hearings?
No.
He literally brought up, like, all these, like, boards and everything, and he had gone through, like, where the dark money was coming from and how he traced it back to the same groups, the same people running these groups, and how they're connected, and how it's basically the same people who are filing these briefs, these amicus briefs and whatnot, to end the Affordable Care Act, to take away abortion rights, to whatever it is, like all these different things. they're the same people who are then connected to these organizations funneling money into getting their Supreme Court justices put into place.
Yeah, this is
so
messed
then they're
up.
filing the lawsuit and then paying for the judge who's going to make the decision
Right.
on it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's disgusting.
it is. It's horrifying.
So we need to dismantle
I
them.
don't. You know what? And I'm fucking done with this whole. We put some asshole in place as the president, and he just gets to destroy everything by
Right.
putting these lifetime appointments. Why are we not voting on Supreme Court justices? Why am
I
I
agree.
voting on my local
And-
judges, but not this person who literally holds the fate of the entire country in their hands? Who holds my right to get married, and who I can marry, and if I can use birth control and get an abortion?
That is an abomination of justice to
It
be
is.
able to like have that kind of sway over people's lives. It's ridiculous. There should be no. First off, if I want to like marry an LGBT couple or whatever like that, if, as a minister, you're infringing on my freedom of religion to tell me I can't.
You're infringing on some people's religion if you tell them they can't get an abortion.
So yeah, so get bent. Like this shouldn't be a thing. So sorry.
I agree, it shouldn't be a thing. But also, like the fact that one person, can like we discussed previously with Amy Coney Barrett, the Senate had the votes to push her through before Trump had even announced who it was.
Right.
They didn't.
That's what corruption looks like.
Yeah, they
Just so
didn't
you know.
care. They just all banded together to push through whatever conservative nut job they came up with.
And the conservative voter will fall in line behind anything that their establishment tells them because they are a cult.
True, but that is the one reason that they end up defeating Democrats.
I agree. But that's how you know that Democrats aren't a corrupt cult. Also, is that they have their own values and morals and stuff like that. They can think for themselves. They don't
can
just
think
fall
for
in line
themselves, and
behind
yes.
everything the establishment tells them.
And they don't freak the fuck out when somebody doesn't agree with them.
Right. Yeah, they can handle new information and take it for what it is instead of automatically denying any information that doesn't fit into this cookie cutter worldview that conservatives have. It's
Right.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
and it's not realistic. It's I don't know how.
I don't know. It's bizarro world. I don't even recognize the country we've lived in these
Yeah.
past few years.
Well, I mean,
I don't recognize these citizens that we have lived in. And to be honest, the one thing I have appreciated from the Trump era is the fact that at least they now label themselves. You could pretty much see it coming.
Yeah.
The red hats and stuff, you just know, cross the street.
Yeah, they just rebrand the white hood, and
Yes,
it's something
exactly.
different. It's
Oh my God,
okay,
I
I
posted
recognize that.
I posted that at one of Trump's rallies or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, rally here tonight at blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Is it the white hood formal or is it red hat casual?"
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And so I was looking at in our home state, I was looking at our voting lines. So it was showing who voted blue, who voted red, or whatever. And the sad thing is, I wasn't in the least surprised as to where the lines are drawn. It is exactly where rural areas start. Suddenly, it's all Trump. Where cities start, it's all, Democrat. And it goes to show that nobody's exposed to each other's worlds, and people believe whatever the news is telling them. They have no idea what's really going on.
They don't. They're actually very clueless, and that's the thing is, it's easier for him to get to the rural people.
Of course.
Because
Well, that's why
they're so closed off.
religion preys on them too. And
Yeah.
that's why there's mega churches out in the middle of the fucking cow pastures and shit.
I never thought about that, but you're right. They're always out
Because
in
it's
these
con
rural
artistry.
areas.
They're preying on them.
Yeah.
And they buy it because they have no idea of reality.
They're just so disconnected from the real world,
Right.
And honestly, it's sad. But they it's like when you talk about Parler and stuff like that, and you call it an echo chamber.
Yeah.
It's basically the same.
That's what it
thing.
should have been called. Yeah.
All they know is what they're seeing from their dear leader and Fox News, and it's all fear mongering.
And I love that they try to claim that Parler's all First Amendment-y and everything. The truth of the matter is, a lot of liberals went over to Parler to see
got blocked.
and got blocked and
Yep.
banned and stuff. And they said, "Oh yeah, where's your First Amendment now? It only applies to conservatives,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
If I was spouting Nazi bullshit, I'd be fine. But the minute I say Trump is a loser, gone.
Yep. Yeah.
So they're the most full of shit people on the planet,
They really are.
and they're the biggest fucking victims.
And they're responsible for most of the fucking problems in
Yeah.
this country. So while we're talking about problems in this country, let's talk about the fact that now people are saying that going forward, even if if we assuming they accept the Biden presidency, they should expect Biden to pardon Trump for the
No.
crimes that they've been denying he's been committing for the past 4 years.
Not a chance, poopy pants.
So, A, you are now admitting that you support a man who has been committing crimes all this time, and you're calling us liars and sheep every time we call it out, but now suddenly you think he needs to be pardoned for it.
Because they know damn well he was guilty all along. The fact of the matter is, they would not give us the same courtesy.
Fuck, no.
So, I mean, hell, he was trying to find ways to prosecute Hillary and Obama when they didn't do anything.
Oh, not just Hillary and Obama. His supporters have been out this week with signs saying that they should arrest Biden.
Yeah. I mean, remember
Because
the lock her up chance?
he
Go
committed-
fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You're not getting any leeway out
Oh
of
my
me.
God, he had his crowds chanting that they should lock up the governor of Michigan,
Yeah.
who
They-
had like that plot against her.
Right, and she didn't do anything wrong. So
No.
get bent.
Oh my God, these people! Like, I cannot. Yeah. So the seeds of fascism are, fertile in this country, and they're totally good with it as
Well-
long as their enemy is the same as
Why-
their fascist leaders.
Why be nice about it? It's because they're stupid. So it's a fact. They're idiots. And that's why they fall for this bullshit. So, I mean, and Alex Jones
I
needs
don't
to be
think
fucking.
it's all. I honestly I used to think that a lot of it was the education and I still do.
I think
that
some of them are paranoid schizophrenics, but
even that the thing you see repeatedly that I just can't ignore anymore is every time you ask a Trump supporter why, the answer is he's like me.
yeah, which should scare you.
So the fact that so it's truly, I used to give them always the excuse of, well, they're just dumb, or whatever.
Yes,
or
they're also
they're
okay,
literally like paranoid crazy.
but they're dumb and bad people.
But I think that it's racism. It's like 99% racism, I think.
But that's what so many people are like. Oh, we got to start healing now. They don't care. They aren't gonna be your friend, or they might pretend to be your friend or whatever. But they're just waiting for the chance to stab you in the back. The next time a Trump presidency happens or something along his lines, they're going to be just as awful as they were under Trump.
Right, and that's the thing is Trump is now talking about running again after Biden's presidency.
He's going to have to do it from jail, hopefully. I mean,
I don't think that him going to jail will sway them.
no, I don't think so either. I think they would vote for a convicted felon. So,
They voted for a dead pimp.
yeah.
They voted for... Oh my gosh, there's been several.
That's it. I mean, you could be convicted of selling like heroin and murdering babies, and they'd probably still vote for you. So, as long as you're
Trump
a Republican,
took tours around the country during the height of a pandemic. They calculated that he's responsible for thousands of outbreaks or thousands of cases from the outbreaks that resulted from his rallies, and at least 700 deaths.
right?
As of July. And they don't care. So yes, you're right. He could literally kill
Well, I mean, a
people.
lot of them don't believe in viruses, so
So, aside from the idea that it's absolutely ludicrous that Biden should ever pardon Trump for the things that he's done, this whole letting the president off the hook at every turn is what gave Trump the boldness to do what he's done.
yeah, no,
We need to go the opposite route, and we need to throw the book at literally everybody who was involved in this corruption.
and look, I'm not stopping at Republicans. Everybody who is corrupt needs to go to jail. Every one of them.
Everybody who enabled him to do the damage that he's done. Every traitor that went to Russia and suddenly came back as a
yeah.
Trump fan.
We need to have some kind of treason trials to figure out who all was involved in catering to Putin.
Like every single one of these people need to be made an example of.
Yeah.
We need to see that you can't just come in and take our country over from the outside. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, truly, had Trump won, I would be fucking fearful for this country. We would be falling right into the hands of Putin.
Right. Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind, and it's quite possible that there would not have been another election in 4 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was doing everything he could to figure out how to become dictator. So,
And then
luckily, he's an idiot.
And then just pass it on to his children when he was done.
Right.
And it sounds ridiculous, but how many times did we look at something that Trump was saying or doing and say, that's ridiculous, he can't get away with that?
Right. But that's
And
how he
then
got
he
away with
did.
it. That's how he got away with it. We thought it can't possibly be done. And then he did it. And it's like no other president got away with that shit. And I blame the Senate. I blame people like Mitch McConnell. I blame Lindsey Graham. I blame Susan Collins. They're all at fault for this stuff. And every one of them needs to be investigated.
Absolutely. Very thoroughly. I think that Biden needs to put into place some kind of, and I think that even some of the, it was the House members maybe, called for a Trump Crimes Commission
Yeah.
to be put into place. And I absolutely think that something like that needs to happen. A group of, people who have been maybe following this the whole time.
Yeah.
To truly investigate, and not just like something where they're blocked at every turn like the Mueller investigation.
Right.
I want like deep digging where there's no more fucking excuses.
Yeah, and we need to put in place a permanent ethics committee that can remove people from power for violating, for ethics violations. It should be the easiest thing in the world to get fired from being a senator or congressman or
Or a
president.
judge.
We can replace them. It is unnecessary that they keep their jobs because when they commit a crime, it's time to go. And at the very least, things like campaign violations, like Ted Cruz got caught in a campaign finance violation or whatever like that. And I don't think anything happened. What really needs to happen is you need to be barred from running.
I agree. We need to start holding people responsible through these past
especially
4
our
years.
leaders. Especially our leaders.
Like, there's no way in hell any average worker would have gotten away with half of the shit these people have gotten away
no.
with. How many times did the House subpoena people to appear before them, Barr and DeJoy and everybody else, and they just, fuck you, I'm not going.
And DeVos needs to go to jail.
Um,
Betsy DeVos needs to go. She needs to go to jail.
You're right, but like, she's really rich, and I don't see it happening.
So, well, I mean, it needs to happen. There was blatant corruption under her. She needs to go to jail.
So many people need to go to jail after all this. So many people just helped him hide and cover up crime after crime after crime.
Yeah, it was a crime syndicate. This entire presidency was a crime
syndicate. They all
syndicate.
need to be made an example of.
And that's why he's scrambling. He's trying so hard right now because once this is all done, he's going to jail, and he fucking knows it. And not just him, but everybody around him should be afraid because he will throw them all under the bus to keep from going down hard.
My biggest concern at this point is the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Before Biden takes over.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of damage can he do in those next couple of months? Honestly, I would be a lot happier if he would just flee the country.
Honestly,
We can hunt him down. We'll get Interpol involved, but he should flee.
Rather than staying and destroying something here, yeah, I'd be okay with that scenario.
We would be stronger as a country without a president than we would with Trump. So
I agree, but
now,
we wouldn't be without a president.
Let's blow some sunshine and rainbows up people's asses for a minute. The squad all won their races.
They did.
They are all, I mean, and not just by a little
by
bit.
Quite a bit, yeah.
And on top of that, what I like even more is that the Republicans wasted a ton of money to try and beat them and lost anyways.
Yeah, and you have to think of Omar.
Yeah.
In Minnesota. Literally every Trump rally, he was attacking her.
Yeah.
AOC also.
Yeah.
Constantly attacking her.
The whole Republican establishment was going after them and still failed. So.
But like, it was so funny. Like, I don't think that he could have a fucking rally without bringing up Omar.
They intimidate him. Strong women really scare.
Strong women of
not
color.
just him, but all Trump supporters. They are all fragile people, and a strong woman is scary to that, to people like that. So.
Because they threaten their position of
and
power.
I couldn't be fucking happier. And we need to give them more support. We need to get more people in there with the same kind of forward-mindedness to actually move this country forward. And look, all those people that were forced on us in place of progressive candidates lost.
They did.
So,
but we're not done. So I will point out that we still have 2 Georgia Senate races, the runoffs that are going to be
Fingers crossed.
taking place in January, and those are hugely important. Because without them, we don't stand a chance in the Senate.
Right.
And Biden won't be able to get done half of the shit that he needs to get done.
Yes, we need those 2 seats,
We
guys.
need those seats desperately. And that would be Reverend Warnock, who has been consistently polling higher than Loeffler.
Yeah.
And the other one is Ossoff versus Purdue. And I think they have a good shot. Stacey Abrams has done amazing things in Georgia, registering people, fighting to get everybody out to vote, and look at what's happened there. Like
Right.
Georgia just flipped to blue.
Oh yeah, no, she's getting like all kinds of credit
incredible.
for what she did.
She
So.
should. Yeah, so that's kind of amazing. So let's hope that everybody turns out again to get those Senate races finished. And my only point was just that we have to stick together for a little bit longer to defeat the Republicans in these cases. However, there's already divisions within the Democratic Party. And I just think it needs to hold out until we accomplish what we need to accomplish. And then yes, I agree that there's differences that need to be looked at.
Addressed, yes. Yeah, well, we all got to get to work. So it's not over, right? I mean, it's not going to be, the fight isn't ever going to be over, and it shouldn't be over. We're going to, even once we get a bunch of what we think we want, we're going to have to keep holding people's feet to the fire. We need to keep making sure that corruption has no place, in our government, and fight all
We
of that.
need to make sure that going forward, people are afraid to come in to bring their corruption into office.
Right.
Like
We need to end all
there
this
is
voter suppression.
there's no letting people off the hook here.
Right.
Hold them accountable and make it to where the next person coming in isn't just like, well, they got away with it, so I can do it too.
The only way to fight off the authoritarianism and corruption and stuff like that is consistent diligence. We have to stay involved, and we have to keep fighting for what's right. So otherwise, we get complacent and lazy, and things like Trump are what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a lot of bad people in the world who want people like him. So,
Yeah.
all right, we got anything else?
I don't think so.
Wonderful. Then we will see you guys next time. Don't forget to check us out at @fire_American on Twitter, American Dumpster Fire on Reddit, American Dumpster Fire on on Facebook. We can be found almost anywhere podcasts can be found, and on YouTube. So don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is that they do, comment. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.